Today I talk about why I'm a helpless addict, and you might be too. Welcome to episode number 6 of the Luebbers journey. We're getting 6 episodes in. This is exciting. And today I'm going to talk about something that's very personal and also very important, I feel. And it's this. Ever since I was young, I've had what I would call an addictive personality. And what this means is I get fixated on things and they just consume my life. Examples are, when I was younger, for a time, Irish dancing. It was my entire life. I would spend hours and hours each day practicing Irish dancing or thinking about Irish dancing. And then later, I got into playing the guitar. I became obsessed with Guitar Hero and then decided to play actual guitar. And I became unreasonably obsessed with conquering the art of playing the guitar. The electric guitar, I was into heavy metal and crazy riffs and things like that. And I would literally come back from dance class at 2 or 3 in the morning sometimes. And I would just sit up and I would play the guitar for an hour, maybe 2, before I went to bed. And even in high school, when I took some time off dancing and played soccer instead, I wasn't a great soccer player. At first, I was okay. I had some natural talent from Irish dancing, but I became obsessed with it. I would watch videos for hours every day. And I would go out in my backyard and kick a ball against the wall for, probably 2 hours a day after coming home from school. And I was just obsessed with mastering the techniques and all the different things, often to the neglect of, for example, my homework. And I would just put it off until the last minute, or I didn't prioritize it. And this tendency has gotten me into a lot of trouble at times. It's had a lot of negative side effects. For example, I just mentioned the idea of putting off my homework. And when I was playing the guitar, I wouldn't get much sleep in that scenario. And again, I would become unreasonably fixated on it and spend time playing guitar when I should have been spending time on my studies. And the most recent manifestation of this is that when I was starting my business and I was still in school, I became deeply, deeply obsessed with it. And part of the reason is that I had invested more money than I'd ever invested in my life. About $2,000 into a extremely top-of-the-line course to learn about online business. Still a good decision, an excellent decision in hindsight. And so this, on top of the fact that I now had in front of me like a blueprint to actually make money and do something that, to me, was mythical. The idea that you could just, instead of getting a job, you could just go out and make money, like people would give you money. This was mythical. And it was hard for me to sit through physics lectures, and especially, because I love physics, even physics was hard, especially lectures on things like humanities classes, like I had an Intro to African American Studies class with an amazing teacher that I just didn't put any work into because I was so obsessed with my business. And at times, this is a negative thing. In this instance, it caused me to not, for a whole semester, basically punt my schoolwork. I did well. I did okay. I didn't fail or anything. My GPA dipped by a couple points, but I still managed, but I just mentally wasn't there. And this has happened at multiple times in my life. And the most extreme it got was when I was back home after I had dropped out of school after I'd taken off, and I just wouldn't even see my family. I lived in the same house as them, and I would sit down in my basement and just work for 14 hours a day, sometimes ridiculous hours. And we're over 5 minutes now, but I'm going to finish because there's an important upside to this as well. And if you're anything like me, or if you have people like this in your life, it feels important to articulate my point of view on this. So I have this addictive personality, and it has downsides. It does have downsides, and I need to make sure the people in my life keep me in check and stay open to feedback when I'm becoming when I'm neglecting fundamentally important areas of life. For example, my family. I went too far. And at the same time, I also consider it a superpower. Because when I find something that I truly love, it gives me a rush. It gives me this sense of empowerment that nothing else does. For example, business, and specifically copywriting and selling. The ability to move people with my words, with words that I literally sit in front of a computer and I type something for an hour, and then I put it in a Facebook group or I send it in an email, and people send me comments saying, "This changed my life. This was amazing." Things like that are what drive this addiction. And things like having my financial future under my own hands. This is something that drove me very much early on. The idea that if I wanted to make more money, if I wanted to buy something in particular, I could just do it. I could just sit down and this happen and write something and have people comment and then get on the phone with them and they'll say, "Yes, I want what you're selling," and they'll become a client of mine. That has fed this addiction with downsides, of course, that I have to keep in check. But I think that this is absolutely a positive thing. If I'm self-aware enough to fulfill the fundamental pillars of my life, this addictive personality can be fuel. And if I'm self-aware enough to use it right, which I think I've become, and it's of course an ongoing process, then I think it's absolutely a superpower. And if you know anybody like this, if you are like this, then hopefully this resonated with you, because it's something that I don't think is talked about enough. In school, for example, you're supposed to take 4 classes, right? You've got to be balanced. You're supposed to fulfill all your general education requirements, and you're supposed to do sports. You're supposed to be in the school play, and all these things are great. They have genuine value. And for some people, this is the right balance. Some people need to do everything. But for others, for people like me, the way that we operate at our best and the way that we function at our best and produce the most value for the world is when we focus on one thing. And we focus on it like a crocodile latching onto, or an alligator latching onto its prey with our jaws on it. And we just do not let go until we've accomplished what we wanted. I hope this video resonated with you. If you fit this profile of having an addictive personality with its negative effects and its superpowers, or if you know somebody, please comment below about your experience. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.